If you're a man over 60, what I'm about to share with you could save you years of frustration, financial loss, and heartache. These are 5 brutal truths that most men discover too late about relationships at this stage of life. Whether you're divorced, widowed, or you've been single for a while, you need to hear this. Society tells us we should always be looking for companionship, that being alone is something to fear. But what if I told you that staying single might actually be the smartest decision you can make right now? What if the traditional relationship model doesn't serve you anymore? And that's perfectly okay. This isn't about being bitter or angry. This is about being honest about realities that nobody else will tell you. So, if you're ready for some real talk that goes against everything society preaches, let's get into it. This conversation is about clarity, self-respect, and protecting the life you worked decades to build. Reason 1, your financial security is on the line. Here's the brutal truth. At 60 plus, you've spent decades building your nest egg, your retirement savings, your property, your social security, maybe a pension if you're lucky. This is your security blanket for the rest of your life. And after working for 40 or more years, you deserve to protect it. But here's what nobody talks about. When you enter a serious relationship at this age, you're potentially putting decades of careful financial planning at risk. This risk is not emotional speculation. It is a practical reality that plays out quietly over time. Now, I'm not just talking about splitting dinner bills or paying for dates. I'm talking about the real costs that come with merging your life with someone else's at this stage. Let me paint you a picture. You meet someone, things get serious, and suddenly you're dealing with healthcare costs that can drain both of your accounts. She needs a procedure that her insurance doesn't fully cover. Do you help? Of course you do, because you care about her. But now your emergency fund just took a hit you didn't plan for. Then there's the blended family complications. Your adult children start worrying about their inheritance. Her adult children are watching every dollar you spend on their mother. You're stuck in the middle of family tensions you never asked for. And let me tell you, these situations get messy fast. I've seen families torn apart over money disputes that started because dad got a new girlfriend. And the legal entanglements? They're way messier than when you were 30. If you decide to move in together or get married, you're looking at prenups, estate planning complications, beneficiary changes. One wrong move and your carefully planned legacy could end up in probate court for years. Here's the reality that hurts the most. Many men over 60 find themselves financially supporting partners who haven't saved adequately for retirement. Maybe she didn't work as much. Maybe she went through a bad divorce. Maybe she made poor financial choices. Whatever the reason, you worked 40 years for your security, not to become someone else's retirement plan. I'm not saying be selfish. I'm saying be smart. Protect what you've earned, because financial peace equals emotional peace later in life. Reason 2, you finally earned your freedom. You know what you've never had in your entire adult life: true freedom. And I mean real freedom. Not just a weekend fishing trip or a guy's night out. I mean the freedom to structure your entire life exactly how you want it. Think about your journey. In your 20s and 30s, you were grinding, building a career, trying to establish yourself. You had bosses breathing down your neck, deadlines to meet, and that constant pressure to prove yourself. Then in your 40s and 50s, you were raising kids, dealing with mortgages, paying for college, managing family obligations. Your time was never really yours. But now you finally get to do whatever you want, whenever you want. Want to wake up at noon. Nobody's judging you. Want to spend the entire weekend in your garage working on your project car. Go for it. Want to take off for a month and drive across the country. The road is calling. But here's what happens when you get a girlfriend at 60 plus. Suddenly you're checking in constantly about your schedule. You can't just decide to go play golf with the guys because you need to let her know first. She wants to know where you're going, when you'll be back, who you'll be with. And look, I understand that's what couples do, but you just spent 40 years doing that. You're compromising on how you spend your time. She wants to go to her friend's dinner party on Saturday night, and you wanted to watch the game. She wants you to come to her daughter's place for Sunday brunch every week, but that's your time to relax and recharge. These sound like small things. They add up fast. And don't even get me started on social obligations. Suddenly, you're attending events you don't care about, making small talk with people you don't know, and pretending to enjoy activities that bore you to tears. All because that's what being in a relationship requires. Here's what many men tell me. They say they feel trapped by the same relationship dynamics they thought they'd escaped after divorce or widowhood. They traded one set of obligations for another. And the question I always ask them is this: was your freedom worth giving up for companionship? Most of them can't honestly say yes. This is your time. After 60 decades of putting everyone else first, you've earned the right to be selfish with your time and energy. Don't give that up lightly. Reason 3, the harsh reality of health and caregiving. This is the one nobody wants to discuss, but it's absolutely critical. And if you take nothing else from this video, pay attention to this part because it could save you from years of heartache. After 60, health issues accelerate for everyone. That's just biology. Our bodies start breaking down faster. Chronic conditions develop. Mobility decreases. It's not pessimistic. It's realistic. And when you enter a relationship at this age, you're potentially signing up to be a caregiver. Let me be even more blunt. Statistically, men tend to die younger than women. So, the odds are, if you get seriously involved with someone now, you'll end up taking care of her as her health declines. Let me walk you through a scenario I've seen play out dozens of times. You meet someone at 65. She's vibrant, active, healthy. You're having a great time together. Fast forward 5 or 10 years to age 70 or 75. Serious health issues start emerging. Maybe it's arthritis that makes it hard for her to get around. Maybe it's diabetes requiring constant monitoring. Maybe it's dementia starting to set in. Now, instead of enjoying your retirement, traveling, pursuing hobbies, or simply relaxing, you're managing doctor appointments for 2 people. You're coordinating medications, helping with mobility, dealing with insurance companies, and watching someone you care about decline. And here's the part that nobody tells you. The caregiver stress will damage your own health. Studies show that caregivers have higher rates of depression, anxiety, and even physical health problems. I've talked to men in their 60s who entered relationships with women who seemed perfectly healthy, only to spend their entire 70s as full-time caregivers. One guy told me he hasn't taken a vacation in 6 years because his girlfriend needs round-the-clock care. Another said he can't even go to the grocery store without arranging for someone to stay with her. That's not what they envisioned for their golden years. And here's the really brutal part that makes this even harder to swallow. If you're the one who gets sick first, are you confident she'll stick around? Or will you find yourself alone anyway? But now, with complicated legal and financial ties, I've seen it happen. The man develops health issues, and suddenly the girlfriend who claimed to love him decides this isn't what she signed up for. But now you're emotionally devastated and financially entangled. Look, I'm not saying everyone will abandon you when you get sick, but at this age, you need to protect yourself and think long-term. Caregiving isn't romantic. It's exhausting, expensive, and life-altering. Make sure you're ready for that reality before you commit. Reason 4, you're set in your ways, and that's perfectly okay. Let me tell you something that society doesn't want you to hear. By 60, you're not set in your ways because you're stubborn. You're set in your ways because you're optimized. You've spent 60+ years figuring out exactly how you function best. And there's nothing wrong with that. You figured out how you like your coffee. Not sort of figured it out, but perfected it. The exact temperature, the exact amount of cream, the exact time you want to drink it. You know what temperature you sleep best at, and you've got your bedroom set up exactly right. You've developed morning routines that set you up for a good day. You know your social battery limits, how much interaction you can handle before you need to recharge, and your tolerance for drama. It's probably at zero, and rightfully so. Modern dating culture tries to tell us we should always be flexible and compromising. Self-help books preach about the importance of adapting and growing together. But you know what? You've been flexible for 40 years of adult relationships and responsibilities. You've compromised through marriages, raising children, dealing with in-laws, managing careers. You've earned the right to live life on your terms now. But here's what happens when you get a new girlfriend at this age. Suddenly, you're renegotiating bathroom schedules. She takes an hour to get ready in the morning when you just need 15 minutes. You're dealing with different eating habits and food preferences. You like to eat dinner at 5:30. She doesn't eat until 8. You're a morning person. She's a night owl. And now your sleep schedules are completely incompatible. Let me give you a real example. I know a guy who loves his house at 68 degrees. That's his perfect temperature. He got a girlfriend who insists it needs to be at 74. They fought about the thermostat for 2 years before calling it quits. Sounds trivial, right? But when you're uncomfortable in your own home every single day, that trivial thing becomes a major quality of life issue. And here's the key point here. The older you get, the higher the cost of compatibility issues. What was a minor annoyance at 30, something you could laugh off and work around, becomes a major quality of life issue at 65. You don't have decades to slowly adjust to someone else's quirks. You have years, maybe a couple of decades if you're lucky. Every day matters now. You're not being difficult by wanting things your way. You're being honest about what works for you. After 60 decades of life experience, you've earned the right to prioritize your own comfort and peace of mind. Don't let anyone make you feel bad about that. Reason 5, the drama you absolutely don't need. Life is short. At 60 plus, you know exactly how short. You've probably lost friends, maybe lost a spouse, watched parents pass away. You understand mortality in a way that young people simply can't. And with that understanding comes a clarity about what matters. Peace matters. Contentment matters. Drama absolutely does not matter. But here's the brutal truth about dating at this age. Every relationship comes with baggage. But at 60 plus, the baggage is heavy. I'm talking steamer trunks full of complications that you're going to have to deal with if you get involved. Let's start with ex-husbands. At this age, most women have an ex somewhere in the picture. Maybe they're co-parenting adult children together. Maybe there are financial ties that were never fully severed. Maybe there's just ongoing bitterness that she's never fully processed. And guess what? You're going to hear about it. You're going to be pulled into conversations and conflicts that have nothing to do with you. Then there are adult children who are suspicious of you. They think you're after their mother's money, or worse, that you're trying to replace their father. They're cold to you at family gatherings. They question your intentions, and they make it very clear you're not welcome in the family. You thought you were done dealing with difficult in-laws. Think again. And the complicated family dynamics just keep multiplying. Her sister doesn't like you. Her best friend is protective and interrogates you about your intentions. There are grandchildren you're expected to buy gifts for and attend birthday parties for, even though they're not your grandchildren. You're being pulled into family drama that spans generations, and you have no escape from it. But wait, there's more. After 60 plus years of living, everyone has unresolved emotional issues from past relationships. Maybe she's still angry about her divorce from 15 years ago. Maybe she has trust issues from being cheated on. Maybe she has abandonment fears from childhood that manifest as clinginess. And somehow, you're expected to be her therapist, helping her work through decades of emotional baggage. Let me tell you what I've observed. Many men over 60 discover that dating at this age means becoming an unpaid therapist, financial advisor, and family mediator for someone who should have figured these things out by now. You're solving her problems, mediating her family conflicts, and dealing with her emotional crisis, all while trying to enjoy what's supposed to be your retirement. One man told me his girlfriend called him crying 3 times in a week because of drama with her ex-husband about their daughter's wedding. Another said he spent his entire Thanksgiving dealing with tension between his girlfriend and her son, who didn't approve of their relationship. Another found himself mediating a dispute about her mother's care between his girlfriend and her siblings. Is this really how you want to spend your remaining years? Peace of mind is priceless. Why would you trade it for companionship that comes with constant chaos? You've already dealt with decades of interpersonal drama in your life. You've earned the right to say no more. Look, I'm not saying die alone in a cave surrounded by cats and regret. That's not what this is about at all. What I am saying is that the traditional girlfriend or serious relationship model may not serve you anymore, and that's okay. There are alternatives that give you companionship without the complications. You can have friendships with women. You can date casually without the pressure of commitment. You can hire companions for events where you want someone by your side. You can join social clubs and groups where you interact with people regularly without the obligations of a relationship. And some men at this age find that they're happiest focusing on their friendships, their hobbies, their families, and themselves. They travel when they want, spend money how they want, structure their days exactly as they please, and you know what? They report being happier and more content than they ever were in relationships. Now, I know some of you watching this are thinking, but what about loneliness? And that's a fair question. Loneliness is real and it can be painful. But here's what I want you to understand. Being in a relationship doesn't guarantee you won't be lonely. Some of the loneliest people I know are in relationships where they feel misunderstood, unappreciated, or trapped. Loneliness and isolation is hard, but loneliness next to another person is devastating. And here's another truth. You can build a life that protects against loneliness without having a girlfriend. Stay connected with friends and family. Pursue activities that put you around other people. Volunteer, join clubs, take classes. Build a community around yourself rather than depending on one person to fill all your social and emotional needs. At the end of the day, this is about being honest with yourself, about what you really want in this stage of life, protecting your peace, and choosing wisdom over pressure. This message reflects the core philosophy of self-respect, clarity, and inner calm, where your peace of mind comes before everything else.